We're going to take you on a trip right now to Sydney and then New Zealand. Starting out at the beautiful Sydney Harbour and the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. You can easily walk across the bridge. It's free and open to the public. And from there you get a lovely view looking into downtown Sydney. The Rocks is the oldest part of town, and there are some nice restaurants and shops here in the Rocks. It's a great historic section, and that's where we're staying. The Harbour Rocks Hotel is a lovely spot, breakfast included every day. And then there's downtown Sydney, the Queen Victoria Shopping Mall. There's a monorail that'll take you from one side of downtown to the other, or you can just simply walk. This is a very compact downtown. Get a nice view from the top of the observation tower, and there's a couple of fine museums in town. You can look at paintings and history. The downtown shopping center has really got some modern buildings along with those historic old ones, and you can get around by train and by boat. You've got to take a boat ride in Sydney to really experience the harbor atmosphere. And you can get over to Darling Harbour by boat, or you could walk or take the tram or a bus. At any rate, be sure to get to Darling Harbour. It's a modern development, and nearby is the old Chinese gardens. Downtown Sydney is a great city, and then you want to get out of town as well and have a look at the beaches. Go out to Bondi Beach. You could take a boat over to Manly Beach, take a stroll, walk through the botanical gardens, go visit the zoo, and just check out the whole place. After Sydney, we are going to fly to New Zealand, and we'll spend about 10 days touring, starting with Queenstown. It's a beautiful town on the shores of Lake Wakatipu. It's great for walking. There's a pedestrian mall area right in the center. But Queenstown is most famous for its natural setting and the lakes and mountains around it. There's a lot of nice day trips that you can take out from Queenstown. And there's boating, hiking, fishing, relaxing, picnicking, all kinds of activities to do here in Queenstown and the surrounding area. And just the scenery, you really don't have to do anything except sit on a bench and look around you if you wish for some very entertaining sights. The mountains all around here. And then the town itself is really cute. It's only a small place. It's about 5 blocks wide and 5 blocks deep, right along the lake shore. There's a lot of shops. There's a lot of restaurants and cafes and bars, postcard places, souvenir shops, and a lot of clothing stores, a lot of outdoor gear shops as well. And they say they've got 300 restaurants and cafes in town. Running right through the middle of Queenstown is the Queenstown Mall. It's a short pedestrian promenade lined with shops and cafes on both sides, and it's really the heart and soul of town, and it's just a fun place to hang out. And then there's Beach Street 1 block over, and then Shotover Street, which is a bigger commercial street with some traffic. It's a wide street now, and it's got a lot of stores and outdoor activity centers as well. From Queenstown, we're traveling north by bus along the west coast and then across the Alps by train to Christchurch. You see, the city itself is very compact around the square, or what's called Cathedral Square. And the maximum walk to such attractions as the Botanical Gardens and the Canterbury Museum and the Arts Centre would be about 3 blocks. They say Christchurch is the most English town outside of England. Foremost among the attractions of town is the River Avon. It is just beautiful. Quite a few of the main sites and activities are clustered right along the river, such as Oxford Terrace you see here. That's a very popular cafe terrace for outdoor dining and just drinking and talking. And then the main part of downtown is just a few blocks long, and it all extends out from the river terrace Here's an amazing complex of neo-Gothic architecture. And there's a tram, a historic trolley that is still in operation today. And it takes you on a city loop tour for about 2 miles right through the center of town. After spending a few days in Christchurch, we're going to travel north by train, heading up to the harbor town of Picton along the beautiful shoreline of the South Island of New Zealand. It's a very scenic trip, and then we get on a ferry boat for a crossing. It takes about 3 hours. It's a very pleasant boat ride. There's indoor as well as outdoor activities on board ship. Nice buffet restaurant. And then we continue our visit in Wellington. This is the capital of New Zealand, and it is really a wonderful city, often overlooked by visitors to New Zealand, but this is a must. It's got a real downtown city atmosphere, and yet it's small and compact. It's just about a mile across the main part of the downtown. There's pedestrian malls, there's a downtown shopping district, and you've got the mix of modern and old buildings. You've got beautiful gardens, and we stay at a nice hotel right in the center of downtown. Breakfast included every day on the tour. There's a great museum, Te Papa, with Polynesian artifacts. There's art displays inside Te Papa. It's really the main museum in the country. From here we're going to fly to Rotorua. As we arrive along the shores of Lake Rotorua and into the city itself, this is a grand structure. It was a thermal bath back in the early 1900s, a spa, and now it's the Rotorua Museum, which has a fine history collection inside. There are some wonderful attractions in this area that will really make this a satisfying visit. We're going to be taking you to the thermal hot springs and to the Maori Cultural and Arts Center. And that certainly makes the trip over here to Rotorua worthwhile. And there's also the Polynesian Spa. There's a lot of hot springs in the area, so they have these terrific baths. They have 30 different plunge pools here at the Polynesian Spa, which is the largest of the various spas, right along the shores of the lake. So it's really a splendid setting. It's really nature at its most awesome. We're here at the Pohutu Geyser in Rotorua, New Zealand. It's really one of nature's fantastic sights. And then we drive to Auckland. Downtown Auckland is surprisingly similar to downtown Honolulu. It's similar in scale and in size and in character. The main street is called Queen Street, and it's lined with shops and the banks, the offices up above. Some historic buildings have been preserved from 100 years ago, 140 years ago maybe, the oldest structures in town. And there's a healthy scatter of some modern and contemporary buildings as well. They've done a pretty good job with their historic preservations. It's a city of culture and arts. They have live theater, they have museums, they have art galleries, there's street musicians as well. Auckland is sometimes called the City of Sails because it's surrounded by water. It's on an isthmus with 2 harbors on either side of it. And it's a relatively compact downtown. Most hotels are within walking distance of the business center, which makes it very easy to see the sights. It's a small country, really. The population of the city is 1.3 million, and that amounts to 1/3 the total population of the nation. And you can really feel this high energy urban vitality when you're here. It's truly a spectacular city. And that's the summary of our tour of New Zealand and Sydney, Australia. It's going to be a great trip. We're going in November of 2007, and this trip is open to the public. You can see our website for additional information, toursbytrain.com.